Happy Ash Sunday. We're not consistent about doing this on Sundays. I shouldn't try to brand it that way.
The Sundash Festival?
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Get a tweet that we're live, and we will start soulsing darkly.
All right.
I think the game might be a little louder than I wanted, actually. Give me just a moment.
I will give you no such thing.
I mean, that was just a social nicety. I'm taking the moment, whether you give it willingly or no.
How dare you?
I very dare. I mean, these are our usual levels. I guess we're fine. Okay. That menu theme just does get loud. It's they sure want you to know you're playing Dark Souls.
I mean, yeah. That's what you come for. It's what you stay for.
Come for the dark. Stay for the souls.
You like it. You love it. You need it. So on the stream, it appears you're still in your main menu.
That's correct.
So this is exciting.
I, for one, am very excited. I should really automate the tweet that we're live. This is like the easiest thing to automate, and I haven't automated it because I'm not a smart man. Oop. And there's me and my mic.
I'm not a smart man, Janae.
God. But I know what love is. Is that the next line?
Yes, that's exactly correct.
That movie. That alleged movie. I haven't watched Forrest Gump in a lot of years, actually. I have no... Like, I understand its politics better now than when it came out, you know?
Does it have politics?
Oh, baby.
I mean, yes, it baked in, like, obviously. But I mean, like, does the movie try to? It just feels like really, like I said, it's cheat mode for film.
Yeah, no, it's like it's Kirkland Select being there in a certain sense, but it's also like there is a very like 90s reactionary politics aspect to it, where it's like it's historical revisionism, right? Like actually the hippies were wrong, and actually like Vietnam vets were uniformly treated very unfairly, and the American dream is totally real, and like if you work hard, even if you're not smart, that doesn't matter because this country rewards entrepreneurism. And like, I don't know, man, like the way Lieutenant Dan is like punished for his atheism and rewarded for his, I think, implied conversion. It's just all very Rush Limbaugh-y.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. It's I guess the movie just feels too dumb for me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, none of that seems what's the word? I guess intentional, really. It just feels like they wanted to make some movie with stuff that felt good to, audiences.
But that's like one of the great ways to be a salesman or a propagandist, is like to create the impression that you're too dumb to lie.
Yeah, I suppose so.
All right, so today we get to the Ring City proper on that nice light note. Okay, so we got that Demon Prince in the bag. Bringing up the chat too real quick here.
Legit.
As I'm trying to get all this stuff set up, I'm remembering why I brought up notable YouTuber Cass Aris the last time we streamed. And it was because she did a really good video about stereotype threat, which is not a concept I was familiar with. But it's basically the idea that like your behavior can be affected by your desire not to live up to various stereotypes about groups you're a member of. So there are a million examples of this, but it's like people talk differently, people move differently in order to not seem the way someone would expect, a woman, a black person, a gay person, whatever, to act. So she brought that up in the context of her trying streaming for the first time. And she mentioned that like streaming is a very like high cognitive load activity under the best of circumstances, because you've got to be actually playing the game. You've got to be talking. You've got to be running the tech stuff. You've got to be watching the chat, all those sorts of things. And so add to that trying to defy people's expectations of, in her case, like a woman who hasn't streamed before, streaming, and it's just like it can be actually overwhelming for people.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all. It's a lot to manage. On top of which, I think for some people it's their livelihood. I don't actually have like a handle on like how much money people make streaming.
It's the same with any
But,
like social media or frankly pyramid scheme job. There's a few people at the top making a ton of money, and there's a whole lot of people making peanuts.
That's what I was. But what I was going to say is like it seems like some people can really stretch like a lot of money out of it. Like was it just the other day? I was getting a little caught up on binging with Babish, and I guess he's got a new kitchen. I want to say he's had like new kitchen videos at least 4 times, and like every time they get more elaborate. And like knowing what I know about New York realty, I'm just thinking in my head like, it's quite a lucrative career for a guy who makes video on YouTube. So
there's a very interesting like intersection of the way the internet works now in that stuff too, because like more and more of these kinds of shows are corporately owned, corporately sponsored, take your pick.
And that's what I mean, about streaming, because like the like sponsorship definitely intersects, I think.
Yeah, right? No, totally. I was, because like when someone purchases real estate or equipment or whatever, it's not always the case that they're making enough money that they can afford it, or even like afford to invest in it as someone who like does that for their livelihood. It could be the case that someone, bought or loaned it for them. Right. So that they, because like we were talking about this on a previous episode, modern social media is all about appearing to live an enviable life. Like that's so much the brand for a lot of what happens on cooking YouTube and style Instagram, and like you're supposed to be a FOMO factory, Mm-hmm. By the way, aloha, Adam.
And Adam.
Up and at them. All right.
It was right by the first bonfire.
So that was. Let's actually talk about the game we're playing just for a change. So this is an obvious parallel to when you arrive in Anne Orlando. In the first Dark Souls, which is itself totally reasonable because the Ringed City is going to parallel Anne Orlando in any number of ways. It's a little weird in this game where we already did a riff on that, like at the beginning of the main game, with the getting picked up by the goblinoids. It's an interesting gesture, like is it supposed to be asymmetry to the beginning of this game as well as to Dark Souls 1? Are we just like, was the crowd demanding we play the hits again? So like for the encore we played the song even though it was part of the main set. Like what is that gesture?
I mean, those guys aren't enemies, and they only show up between zone changes.
They're just a taxi service, yeah.
Yeah, so I took it to just be like that's their job, I guess.
Yeah.
In this, stretch of the world.
Oh wow! Adam said rideshare while I said right. I didn't even. I said taxi. He said rideshare. We didn't even check. Ooh, the stream still says Crusader Kings 3. Thanks, Adam. We are new to going back and forth between different games. So I'm going to fix that just so no one tunes in thinking they're getting Crusader Kings 3 because they are not getting that.
I mean, it's funny because the title still kind of works.
We are kind of petty kinging. It's true, yeah.
Yeah. On our own little crusade.
Titles successfully changed. Okay. Anybody who's currently watching will need to refresh the page to see the new title, but anybody currently watching are not the people I'm worried about confusing. So here we go. Do we serve the gods or are we just pretending?
I mean, hey man, live your truth.
I mean, I'm doing neither. No gods, no masters. I will live, this life.
Yes, of course. How would one such as thee do service to the gods? I have intimate knowledge of thy kind. I know thy want.
Adam also points out the taxi service demon goblins are enemies in the first game. You do fight them after you arrive in Anne Orlando.
Give rest to thy
Do you? I just remember the gargoyles.
would be an ally to thee.
Now you fight them. You fight them like they're really easy to cheese off the edge, if I recall.
Hmm.
If it is
I can't picture it, but I believe you.
seek Fëanor's
All right, we're gonna seek Fëanor's church.
there wilt thou the sleeping princess waken. Her slumber is a deceit, a lid.
I've had slumber that was a deceit for sure.
Oh yeah, they're like at the top. Okay, yeah, that area is actually in this game.
They have lightning. They shoot through us lightning. Oh yeah, that area is in this game. You're totally right. Yeah.
Okay, that I was picturing like at the beginning of Anor Londo. I was like, I don't remember at the beginning, but yeah, like once you get up to that area, where what is that area in the first game? I'm trying to think of what's up there. But it's basically that area outside of the giant Smith, the giant Smith.
Oh yeah. I mean,
outside,
in this game, that's near where you fight Aldrich. In the first game, that's near where you fight Smo and Ornstein.
Smo and Ornstein, thank you. Yeah, and that's interesting, I guess, because I guess they're friendly and they don't like you. It can be both things.
Yeah, there's almost like this predatory thing where they bring you there, but then they fully expect you to die there. I don't know if that's that they're testing you or what it is, but Adam says, yes, Fëanor, that other daughter of Gwyn that we definitely had reason to believe existed prior to hearing her name just now in the final DLC of the final game. I will say, if Gwyn is Zeus, I always did assume he has infinity illegitimate children and lots of other secret legitimate children we haven't heard about. Oh yeah.
So I think he'll stop. Maybe not. Can they hit us from here? I guess we'll find out, won't we?
Looking like no to both questions. No, they won't stop. No, they can't hit us. Oh, wait, they did stop for now anyway.
Yeah, I mean, as we'll see as it unfolds, the whole nature of the Ring City is it's supposed to be very much a secret, kind of. So, but yeah, I mean,
we're in the shit now. So how do you do this? I vaguely remember these archers.
So you, one, you could let me do it because I don't think they target me because I don't exist in this world. But if that's too boring for you, you can also run to where I am right here, and this is the safe zone.
Okay. Oh yeah, we like get their commander, and then they chill.
Yeah.
/ cease to exist. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
I mean,
oh, there's another one. Hello, friend.
Nihilism is for the children, so I think chilling and ceasing to exist are like,
Cease to exist and chill is the new Netflix and chill.
Exactly.
We're all tired of Netflix. Oops, oh boy.
Oh, I saw you and then I didn't see you, so.
I did not have the level geography in my head correctly. So there you go. I don't know if you're watching the chat, but Adam says that the notion of the pygmies having their very own Anor Londo just irks Adam.
Oh no, I mean Adam and I will never see eye to eye on this.
Hey, how around are you, Adam? Do you want to jump in the Discord and talk this one through? Because we did talk about this being the part that might make him lose his mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm assuming he doesn't have this area because it would be fun to play with him, but
oh, that's an interesting thought. Oh, how do I have an Estus shard I haven't used? Well, whatever.
I mean, we're doing a shorter session this morning, so if we can fudge out the logistics, maybe we just get to the next bonfire and
maybe we do it next time. Yeah, that's true. We are somewhat short today. Yeah. I
don't think it was being negative energy, man. I mean, we're not just here, Dick Ryden for Miyazaki, exactly.
No. I mean, I have. It's interesting. Like, I don't think I'm on the number line exactly between you two, but I had a weird reaction to this too, because we've talked about this a few times. But like, I tend to remember games pretty well, and I really like I'm remembering this now that we're here, but I have not thought about these archers or that vista since we played this the first time. And I'm not saying like, therefore I've proven with science that Bloodborne is better or whatever. I just mean that like, that's weird for me. This is kind of weird. And I think for a series that broke out like this and is as sort of expansive in the cultural imagination as Dark Souls is, there was probably no way to come up with a fully satisfying conclusion. You know, there's a sense in which...
Well, I think to Adam's point, the satisfying conclusion is just the first game.
Right. No, the first game comes to a very satisfying conclusion. But once we decided this was a series, we and more than that, the mainline series in a meta series of, you know, accept no substitutes, true Souls-likes from the Souls-like creator, these boots were made for disappointing people in a certain sense, right? Like there was nothing you were going to come up with that was going to put a bow on it in a satisfying way for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, for all intents and purposes, I don't know that Dark Souls 2 needed to be Dark Souls 2, like in that same regard. Like that could have probably been its own standalone title, but because it was a different team, and oh boy.
And it almost is the thing. Like it's
God, I'm dead. But he's a lot of health down.
Okay.
I would focus on getting him first.
Yeah. Yeah, man. If what we're comparing to is Dark Souls 3, then Dark Souls 2 almost is its own thing. You know what I mean? Like,
no, my point is it is. It has the, you know, these little callbacks to Dark Souls 1 that.
Real quick, are the archers now clear? Can I just run back and
the
get
archers
you?
are now clear.
Okay, cool.
I mean, you can run back and get me. You can explore the area.
Well, the point is to be together as friends and brothers in arms. And
I can also just come to where you are.
That's fine too. I'm just gonna grab this little present that the gods have bestowed upon me. Ember, that's not a good present. I hate the gods. Eat the gods.
Hey man, when you're co-oping, those are precious items.
Yeah, it's true enough. I am running a little low. All right.
Oh yeah, but to backtrack, no, I wouldn't consider disliking the game negative energy. Like the point of this playthrough is not to just like gush over the game; it's to examine it. And
I find this to be a really weird game.
Yeah, I played this first, so like my bias is that a lot of stuff that I drew about, a lot of information that I drew from Dark Souls 1, I got from this game. So this is like almost the inverse for me. I like Dark Souls 1 a lot, but it exists almost as like a like Dark Souls 3 to me is like, hey, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got here.
Right.
Let's go back to the beginning, because at this point, you know so much about 1 that there's a fun way in which, you know, playing 1 was like, to watch it unfold was almost more satisfying than being sort of like mystified the first time. And I'm not saying that it's better. I'm just saying for me, I remember when we first tried to play this game, I couldn't by the way, my sign's kind of in the middle of like, you know what, here, I'll put it somewhere more obvious. I'm gonna put it right next to where you killed Captain Tower Defense.
Okay. Remember tower defense games?
The only one I ever played was defending Fort Condor from
In FF7.
from whoever that was. I guess
I'm
in
invaded.
FF7. I don't even remember the enemies. Oh, get my sign. Get my sign.
I do not see it. You mean, obviously the FF7 remake didn't get as far as Fort Condor, so who knows if we're getting some version of... Oh, boy.
It's right there. Oh, well, wait. I'm a couple seconds behind. I forgot. It should be right there.
Yeah, I'm dead. I was
Oh.
too busy looking for your sign. I should have paid a lot more attention. Well, Baron von Tower Defense is dead. Right? Or does he not stay dead?
No, he's not a permadeath enemy, which
okay.
I always found kind of interesting.
That is interesting. That is like...
But it's,
usually that kind of enemy would be. Okay, well, let's use this ember we just got. Thanks a lot, gods. Really feeling fealty to y'all. Okay, I'm back at the bonfire, as you may or may not be able to see. Yeah, I mean, so like the other thing about this area... So first of all, we haven't super talked about what you were just saying, which I think is quite interesting, which is that you got to experience Dark Souls 1 in a way that, you know, not no one, other people did, but most people who love this series, that wasn't their experience of playing Dark Souls 1 and basically knowing what was going on, you know? Yeah, and like, I feel like it's not just about the amount of information, but also the mode of storytelling. Because Dark Souls 1, it isn't just that you learn things slowly, it's that you have to figure stuff out and you get contradictory information and all that. So I think maybe something to think about as we go through the Ring City is like, not just is it coming up with new stuff, is it retconning, whatever, but like I remember it being a lot more explicit than you would expect Dark Souls storytelling to be. Like you find statues and they tell stories and whatever. But I feel like it just straight up tells you, like, well, who was the furtive pygmy, and like I feel like there are answers. And again, maybe that's the necessary if you're going to try to wrap up what is now a trilogy. But it's not going to be satisfying to everyone. It's completely opposite the approach Dark Souls 2 takes. So that's something to keep in mind as we. Oh my God, that was a million arrows. I was very very slightly not in the safe zone, I guess.
Oh, you ran to the safe zone, I see.
Yeah.
No, I just ran ahead. I was thinking about how to respond, because one of the things I have to try and remember is where my knowledge of the series is like influenced by Vati Vidya's deep dives, for example, and where the text itself, I guess, is like doing most of the work, because
that's an interesting thought. Yeah, like we've all read the Talmud at this point. And like I don't have too much of an objection to any particular thing that I can think of that in Vadi's interpretation, but that stuff is extra textual. Like that's not the game telling you that,
Right. And he's really good about saying like that's just his opinion or that's his, interpretation.
He sources which item description he's talking about when he makes a statement and all that, yeah.
So to that effect, I was going to say, I don't know that there is a solid answer about the furtive pygmy. There's a lot of like maybe obvious visual information, but I want to say that you still have to glean a lot of it for yourself. I mean, this will be fun to play through to see, because you don't remember this area, so you'll be able to tell better than
I mean, really though, like I need to not die so we can actually see some of it. But yeah, I'm going to be really interested to see it. And I should say, the mode of storytelling thing, it really does come down to sensibility. I mean, I think I've said this on the podcast, but not on a stream. When Lauren is reading a fantasy book in particular and thinks I will like it, her pitch is almost invariably, you're going to love this one. They don't explain anything.
So is that like a prerequisite for any fantasy that you do enjoy?
It's not a prerequisite. It's more just like a pattern, like I think the way I've put it sometimes is that like the more there's an inverse relationship. Whoa, that's not a safe spot. Okay. Tiny amount of fall damage. This is officially a comedy of errors. Okay. This time we've got it. But no, like it's not like a prerequisite. Like I will not read a book if it has exposition or explanation in it. It's more just like
will you enjoy it?
Right. Well, like it's more like the other way around, right? Like it's like a pattern I've noticed. It's it's not Save the Cat. It's the Hero with 1,000 Faces. It's looking at a bunch of stories and doing a meta analysis. If I listed out the fantasy books I've enjoyed a lot, or like post-apocalyptic books or whatever, they tend to be the ones that imply more than they explain about like what happened to the world. And like I'm a sucker for in medias res. Like I really like being in a very different world that is obviously normal to the people in it. I don't have a ton of patience for dumping lore on me before I'm invested in the story for lack of a better term. Right. The people, what's actually happening moment to moment, all of that.
I guess I was just trying to think. Oh, excuse me. I was trying to think of stories that I've enjoyed and whether or not. I mean, I think there's different levels of, or different kinds, I guess, of expository writing or explanation.
Yeah.
Adam says, in the case of this DLC, it very much feels like they turn to the camera at the end and go, wow, it turns out that the real Dark Souls were the friends we made along the way. I wish he was in chat, because I'm not sure I really get that. But
I remember the last boss fight, but I don't remember what happens after. So I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that, but it's very funny regardless. I mean, the first N.K. Jemisin book, Lauren got into N.K. Jemisin before I did, but the first one she gave me was the 5th season. Because that kind of typifies what I'm talking about, where there's just like, everyone's talking about stone lore. Well, according to stone lore, we should do this, this, and that. And you don't actually find out what stone lore is for a while, it isn't, there's no well, there actually is a glossary in the back if you're really stuck, but it doesn't sit you down and do there's a lot of space between true in medias res versus what my old English teacher used to call captain exposition, where, just the narrator goes and 3055 or whatever, there's a lot in between those two things, but on that
Certainly,
number line,
that's kind of why I was wondering, and especially old hat is to, have the story be from the perspective of someone who's not, familiar with customs or whatever. I was thinking of like Ursula Le Guin, who I feel like is very expository in terms of like explaining her world and how it works, and at the same time leaves space for there to be like, I would say that the world is kind of usually, she likes to, and it's been a while since I've read her stuff. I need to go back and maybe do a reread. But what I was going to say is she seems like she's invested in doing the sort of like diegetic expository stuff about the world, or like, the way magic and politics works, so that she can get to the heart of like what's not always explicit, which is people's feelings and the way that they, interact with one another, or, even with themselves. Like Wizard of Earthsea takes a lot of time to like kind of explain to us the way magic works in that world. But the bigger part of the book is about Ged or Jed, depending on how you want to pronounce it.
I always thought it was Ged. Do people say Jed?
I'd sometimes say Jed. I don't remember why. But I also, with the, you can read it with the hard G. But the book is mainly about him kind of understanding or learning about himself, and how, the rules of magic apply to the way in which he, learns to self-identify.
Really quick, I don't know why, but I remember the staircase and that view of the church really well, even though I don't remember the level that well overall. I don't know what that means or why, but please continue.
No, I was gonna say, and then the left hand of darkness it's exactly what I was just saying about, having the perspective of the book be from someone who's not familiar with the culture. And so like he's obviously getting like a big expository dump from all the people around him who exist in this world and its culture, and that, to me, that's not detriment to the way that the book is exploring like how people relate to one another in gendered terms, and how much of it is from a prose perspective, not explicit. So I guess that was just my point, to support your point about there being a lot of space in between. She
Absolutely.
Quite outline like, here's the entire history of this world, but it's more like here's the important information, and now glean what you can about why the world is that way and what it means to the people that we're looking at.
Right. We're gonna let this.
Adam says those books are amazing. I'm not sure if he's talking about Earthsea or Left Hand of Darkness or
Broken Earth,
in general,
or
the answer to all of that is yes.
Yeah, all the above.
Also, I just noticed for the first time that Madeira is following us.
Really?
He was at the top of a cliff when we first arrived. I should have pointed him out, but now he's I see you looming. He's right behind you if you look.
Oh. Huh. Well then.
I love those little details.
Really good. And this is such a small thing to point out, but the punctuation in what this person says is very weird. I want to point out this line here. Fear not, comma, the dark, comma, my friend, and let the feast begin. Now, the way the actor says it sounds like fear not the dark, talking to you, and let the feast begin. But the way it's punctuated, it's almost like they're addressing the dark as a friend. And I think both work. And I'm probably overthinking this one thing in a famously obtuse game that is, after all, part of the original appeal for Miyazaki was working in a language that was not his native one. But anyway, I always found that weird.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Oh, Broken Earth is what Ben was talking about when he talked about books being amazing. Yes, those are amazing.
You mean Adam?
Adam was talking about Broken Earth, yeah.
You said Ben.
Did I say Ben?
I think Ben just reads medical books.
Yeah,
this point.
Ben does not read literature. I don't know too many doctors who read novels for fun, and that is not judgment on them. That is the life they have chosen. I will say our other doctor friend reads about as much as any American adult I know. It's just he's reading like the New England Journal of Medicine, and like to say he reads for pleasure is probably not quite correct, because it's like to do with his chosen field, but he's it's extracurricular, right? Like it's stuff that
Right.
doesn't have to do necessarily with how he's doctoring day to day. Adam says he can try to be Ben if that's helpful. I mean, we're just going down the alphabet at this point. I will say, so on the number line of exposition, hang on while I take a sip of something. We've talked about the works of Octavia Butler on this stream before, because Octavia Butler rules. I think she occupies an interesting space in the discussion we're having, because I would consider her stuff pretty in medias res, but there's a lot of explanation. In fact, like some very high percentage of the dialogue is just people explaining things to each other.
Yeah.
Difficult to understand concepts and all of that. And I think that works pretty well, because they are legitimately very interesting concepts that you need an explanation for. And
Well, it's good you bring her up, actually, because I would say that she is a great example, because she is having just read through the Dawn series again. I need to read some of her other stuff to see how consistently this holds up. But I found that I really, really love Dawn because I feel like it balances those things. And then later it does become a little more expository in that way. And I don't know if it's like a kind of a meta commentary on what's happening to the characters, because the characters are becoming more alien, but it's just there's a lot less humanity to the characters, it feels like to me.
that was kind of how I took it.
Not in like
yeah.
a bad way necessarily, but it's just like it's not what you would expect from her reading, and I mean
Right.
from her writing style. You're the one reading.
I was taking it that
Because
our
obviously,
narrators.
like Lilith, the way that Lilith responds to the oh my god, so many made up words in my head. What to the Oankali is very different from the way that like her brood, as it were,
Right.
are responding in later books. And so I found that to be interesting, that like I still liked the characters and like the world and what we were learning about it, especially in terms of what it has to say about oh god, oh that was a lot of lightning. About biracial and diaspora and all that stuff,
and how if humanity is going to survive, it has to change. Like people who want
Right,
to keep
exactly.
things fixed. Yeah.
But all that said, yeah, like the perspective really, I kind of had to push through the last one a little bit more than I remember. Like the first one, I remember I was engrossed, and then the second one I really enjoyed. And then by the third one, I was just like, I kind of got to get to the end here.
Interesting. I mean, like, yeah, I definitely took that as our narrators are becoming more Oankali. So like they're conveying information and processing information closer to the way we've seen the Oankali do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, totally. It does make the prose, like Lilith is just such a compelling protagonist that she's a tough act to follow, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because she's
Well,
not really
especially
she's
just
not
like-
really the protagonist of the second and third books. It is more about her children.
I mean, yeah, she's not at all.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
So-
Not really. Not even a little. She's in them, but she's not the protagonist.
Yeah, no, she is the mother figure.
Yeah.
But I like that she retains her personality. I thought that was a really great. We're getting a little off track. I just realized now we're just gonna start talking about Octavia Butler, which is fine.
This
but
is
in a
Sci-Fi
way-
Book Club while we play an unrelated video game. I mean, not unrelated. I mean, we're talking about degrees of exposition, right? So like
Right.
when I talked about environmental storytelling, the very first thing I mentioned was statues. There are some interesting statues in this area. Let's actually pop back outside for a second if you're not in any immediate danger.
I mean, yes, but
where-
also give me a moment.
Where are you in immediate danger?
I'm fighting this ringed boy.
Okay. Boy of the Ring. Oh, I
Oh,
slept.
he's a chunky one.
I'm dead.
I was gonna say we're at an interesting point now, because actually between this bonfire and the next, there is a lot. So I didn't know how much we were gonna be rushing. I know
Right.
this was already kind of a short session. I don't know if we want to keep going.
Let's try to get a little further if we can.
All right.
I'm going to use an ember. Adam says "in medias res" is an interesting phrase in reference to Dark Souls, because you're kind of arriving after the story is already over more than in the middle of things. You're like, the whole game is kind of an epilogue, especially the first one,
Yeah.
which makes the third one an epilogue to an epilogue, which is
Yo, dog.
heard you like epilogues. Yeah, exactly. The infinite nested epilogues. I think, yeah, Bloodborne does split the difference, because like you're in a very late stage of that world's development, but you arrive on the night of the hunt. You are kind of thrown into the action. Yeah, Bloodborne does a lot with taking place over a much shorter span of in-game time, or even just like having a sense of in-game time. The fact that the night advances as you go, whereas like time is kind of suspended. You're in the like that last moment before everything ends. You're inceptioned a little bit in the Dark Souls games proper.
I live.
Hooray! I like when you live. I am playing real bad today.
I mean, I would argue we're playing correctly. You're supposed to die in this game.
It's true. People forget that.
I think playing really well is reserved for speedrunners.
Well, and there is a sense in which, and this is not just true of Dark Souls, it's true of a lot of games, that if you play really, really well, or maybe more to the point, if you play in a way where you're not challenged, you are robbing yourself of some of the most interesting stuff about the game. Right? Like if you get to, this is the whole reason Massacre exists, is that some people are so good at Mario that in order to feel anything, they have to give themselves a stronger hit. Or I shouldn't even say like, this is why Kaizo levels exist. If you own Mario Maker 2, you have access to a ton of this stuff. So I don't want to make it sound like you've got to necessarily download stuff off SourceForge or find an emulator or whatever. This stuff is on your Switch, and it's wild. There's actually, I don't know if you've seen Grand Pooh Bear, who is a Mario speedrunner, made a series of like Kaizo tutorial levels. Like each one lets you practice in a relatively safe environment one of the weird mechanics Kaizo levels tend to have, with like knocking a shell into the wall and then jumping off of it while it bounces back.
Oh no, I
or
didn't
whatever.
realize.
They're very cool. So this was the statue I wanted to point out, by the way.
Right, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with lightning boys.
They are very dangerous and they can attack at any moment. Adam
Okay,
says,
statue.
"LOL, get good losers." No, we refuse. So here we have someone very sad under a ring. What am I looking at?
Well, so this is what I mean. Is this explicit? Or is
No,
this,
so this is an example of something that is not, because I don't think we ever get a totally fair answer. Now, we see this very, very losers. So actually, Adam spelled it. We see this very, very shortly before we see an aggressive pilgrim for the first time.
right.
And they kind of do look like, this person kind of does look like one of the pilgrims without the shell. And we know that the pilgrims transform because we saw the the horrible, emerging from a chrysalis version of one of them. Yeah, I guess I just have to keep in mind, right? I'm not saying I had a take. I was just wondering if you did.
And look, this is the armor of the enemy we just fought.
Right.
Check out my chest. That's that's the dark sign.
Oh, I see what they did there. Yeah, and I mean, like, that the ring of the ringed city is definitely supposed to. And for anybody just joining us, the dark sign represents the curse of the undead. That is the reason we keep coming back, despite getting myrtleated. Yeah, so we're fighting ringed knights that have that in their Goldang chest. Yeah, the idea of embracing the dark is definitely a thing that runs throughout this game. Like maybe humanity taking on. I mean, this is you can't help but be relevant. Similar to Octavia Butler's Lilith's Brood / Xenogenesis series, the notion that for humanity to transcend, to survive, to become what it ought to be, it has to become something almost unrecognizable to previous humans.
Right.
This game does share that theme in common for sure.
Well, and there's again, I have to remember if this is what the game is telling me or what other people have speculated. I think that there's a lot of there's definitely the implication that with, Uria and the Hollows of Londor, that whatever the dark and, going hollow represents, that it actually might be closer to like the true form of humanity rather than whatever it is that like, the dark sign is that was given to us by Gwyn and his ilk.
Right, and where the dark sign came from is a subject of hot debate in the first game, and we mentioned, so this is a good example of something that I do think, but I maybe think more because of Vatividia than because of the game. Oop, invaded. Dark Spirit. Dracul.
Where are you? Can I get to you?
Where are you? Can I get to you? See, I can say stuff too. Where'd you go? Are you all the way at the bottom?
No, I'm at the top.
Oh, here's my boy.
I'm wondering. Oh, is he about to?
Dracul has logged on. I think he's iggying me toward the ring knight.
Okay. Well, I can drop the ring knight. I mean, this is going to be insane, but let's see how this goes. I can probably deal with the ring knight if you can keep Iggy at bay.
So far, so good.
All right, got the ring knight. Are you up or down?
I'm up. Oh, he's
Here
healing.
I come.
He's healing so much.
I'm coming. Oh, hi. Is he gonna run back?
He's gonna jump off.
If he drops down, we have an opportunity to heal too. So, yeah, he did.
That's the end of that chapter. Or no? Interesting.
I'll heal you. Come here. Oh wait, no, you're fine.
I'm completely fine.
He might be wearing the cat's ring.
That would
a lot of people who are really good at this game in terms of like getting good can just change their inventory while they're fighting and playing. So
that makes sense. Yeah. So like you could in the space of that fall put on equipment that prevents the fall from killing you.
Exactly.
Wiggling our weapons at each other.
Yeah, he's definitely iggying. So let's see what makes the most sense here. I mean, he's going out there.
This section I remember a bit.
Yeah, I was going to say to the right, you're going to get some stuff to do, but with Iggy, it's going to get very interrupted.
Yeah.
I could try fighting him. I think he's going to beat me because, yeah, he's...
I just don't know how we're going to get him to engage.
I mean, he's using a very PvP-oriented weapon.
He was barely attacking.
I'll tell you what.
Let's
just see what it is. You go head right and see what's up with exposition
I'm gonna help you.
time.
I'm gonna help you with Happy Pants.
I wish I could roll catch. I'm so bad at it.
Got him.
Oh, hey. All right. Well, look out for lightning.
Yep.
Okay, so here's the other thing happening now is we have these boys, these Harolds. I don't know what I'm thinking of, but I always have this like kind of older British housewife saying Harold. I'll have to look into what that is.
That sounds correct to me. Like that, like I recognize that inflection in that context, but I don't know why either.
Oh god. So plunging them all but kills them. So if you can do that, that's the ideal. Let's see if you can draw their attention. Maybe I can land on him. Sounds like you died.
I absolutely aggroed another one.
Oh. You've made a terrible choice here. I'm just, just going to point that out.
That's what I do.
Oh, I might die.
Don't die.
Don't
die. I told you not to.
I mean, you could head back. Because they can't follow you through the door, as far as I know.
Okay, well, let's try that.
Little guy can.
Right.
But if you go to the top of that stairs we were just at, I can probably put my sign down there.
Okay.
Potatoes are my crazy.
Potatoes and tomatoes and the peas. So we're obviously dealing with a lot of lightning in this zone. Are we to take from that a lot of these are it's like a Genghis Khan thing, like everyone is descended from Gwyn or like a huge percentage of the population. So like now we just have kind of a city of lightning benders.
Yeah, their ability to use lightning, I've never been able to kind of fully suss out.
Yeah, tossing that lightning was definitely Gwyn's whole deal. These are definitely Gwyn's knights we're seeing depictions of here. So Gwynning intensifies.
So some of these guys are cursed. Noticing they're got crystal stuff coming out of it.
Smiley HQ says, yes, I love a bit of Crusader Kings. Love it. Sorry about that. Schmelly HQ, excuse me. Yep. We titled the stream wrong. Thought we fixed it. Apologies if you're seeing the wrong title there. There will be Crusader Kings 3. I said 2 just a moment ago, in the future. So sorry if you tuned in under false pretenses. If you want to see a little more Dark Souls, hang out. Otherwise, have a lovely day.
All right, my sign is near the entryway.
Upstairs or downstairs?
Upstairs, where we came in from the outside.
Gotcha.
I could put it further down. I just thought that'd be the quickest way.
Yeah. So you're like up. I'm going the right way still, right?
Yeah, no, you're solid.
Cool.
It's like right when you walk in.
Yeah. There is something very funny to me about the idea that this is just a heavily modded Crusader Kings 3 that we're playing right now. Like very heavily modded. So like here, or you're saying back inside?
I mean, you're a couple seconds behind me, but oh no, not that far.
Oh,
sorry,
gotcha.
I meant like when you walk into the stairwell area.
Stairwell. Oh, I see. I understand what you're saying.
I was gonna say, if you walk back now, you should just see it. It should just.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yes, yeah.
So Adam says, indeed, something Koth brought up in Dark Souls 1, which I think he's talking about when we mentioned hollowing being closer to the true form of humanity. And then DS2 does a really good job of exploring some of those ideas. And then DS3, I guess, decided didn't like any of that stuff and wanted a do-over, which I don't think I agree with, because like the whole point of this is that we're being more and more guided to the idea of like usurping the fire, and like I think there's a lot in this game that really kind of suggests that hey, you should really maybe do what Yuria wants to do,
usurp the
go
fire.
hollow. And I mean, and for that matter, I mean, hollowing in this game is kind of almost like if you want to like look at like real endings, it's like a hidden path. Like you don't hollow in this game the way you did in other games just by playing. You have to actually opt in to hollowing, because hollowing is something different than what the enkindled are.
This is a rich structural video game tradition where every, like, whatever is the hardest ending to get is therefore the true ending,
Right.
All right. Speak through the name of God.
I'll distract these boys while you do that.
So this moment, I do remember a little bit that you speak the name Gwyn.
No, I thought one might have found you very attractive, but I think he's moved on.
So the idea of Gwyn as capital G God is definitely interesting. It's very, very different from Dark Souls 2, where no one remembers anybody's name. Not Gwyn, not Solaire, not nobody.
Oh dear.
But that we've Gwyn, who was the head of a pantheon, has settled into, like, there's almost like a monotheistic Gwyn-centric religion here.
Well, and oh boy. Oh boy. I mean, for the people who exist in this particular area, I would assume that since they don't know the history of the outside world, that's kind of rings true. Like, they remember Gwyn and whatever gifts he may have bestowed on. Oh Lord, where did you come from, chunky boy? But they don't know about everything else that happened after the fact. because ostensibly the Ringed City, if it's meant to wall in the pygmies. Also, am I talking over stuff? Yeah, I'm gonna shut up now.
It's all good. There's no reason not to accept her request to do a side quest and kill Midir, right? Like, does that lock us into doing it?
No.
I offer my sincerest gratitude.
Look, man, you don't owe these people anything, okay?
I'm just. What will I get a more interesting answer if I say yes or no? That was the real question.
I have asked the thing most terrible of
I've never said no.
may this token of thanks be obeyed.
That's my homegirl. She's got the armor I'm wearing.
Before the dark can
Okay, so put the dragon to rest before the dark consumes him, as Bowser forgot, etc. We may or may not fight Midir in this playthrough because that is a challenging fight. And I don't know if we see anything super relevant to what we're talking about in it. So that's TBD.
I mean, he's definitely an interesting. Well, I shouldn't say definitely. To some, he would be an interesting lore character, but there's nothing there. I don't think that you need to have. He's sort of a really, really crazy amalgamation of lots of different. I don't know if I'd say characters, but at least like themes. Like he tried to fight back the dark, the abyss. I think he failed. He is a dragon. He is protecting the princess.
Right.
So there's a lot there. There's definitely a lot there to unpack, but we don't need to necessarily fight him to get.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he almost is like if Dark Souls 1 were a long running series of novels, and Dark Souls 3 were an adaptation of them, Midir is like a bunch of characters combined into one for expediency.
By the way, minor. I don't know what the lore implications of this are. So in this area, where are we? In the Ringed City, the dark spirits that we get invaded by don't have names anymore. So this is Alva, who we saw earlier and exists in other games as well. But he's not Alva. He's not Alva, Seeker of the Spurned. He's just the Seeker of the Spurned. And
this is actually a move from Dark Souls 2 in a certain sense. There's all kinds of stuff where like the Crypt Blacksword springs to mind. That is a weapon with obvious references to Nito, but the name Nito does not appear anywhere. You meet Ornstein, but he's just the old dragon slayer.
Right. But I think what I find interesting, what I'm trying to what I guess at some point we'll maybe try to figure out is, so why does that happen within the space of a single game? Because in Dark Souls 2, that makes sense. Like, Nito was however many epochs ago. Here, we ran into Alva back in the entrance to the Irithyll dungeon. Mm-hmm. But now he is just the Seeker of the Spurned. And one character who was introduced in this game, who we'll see, is no longer has his name either. He is just his title.
Yeah.
And so, actually, yeah, you run up and plunge him. I'll see if I can keep him.
Okay. We mentioned Vadividya. I remember really well I was watching one of Vadividya's and Vadi made some crack about how, this area is obviously an alternate version of such and such an area, and that's a concept we should all be familiar with right now. And it's not that I don't buy that read, but as I was playing these games, it literally never occurred to me that we had multiple timelines per se. It did sort of still feel like everything you see happen
Be careful, this guy will curse you.
Oh,
He's
good
not
call.
dead yet.
It always seemed to me that anything you see happen has always happened in every other place you go. That there aren't mutually contradictory versions of events. But I wonder if it's maybe a fool's errand to interpret this area as taking place after all the stuff we've seen in other games, as opposed to this is a different version of the way things could have happened.
Well, and that's why I'm saying, because they don't have names. I don't. To me, it's not. And so yes, to what you were saying, but also, let's go this way, I guess. Yeah. There's a lot of cursed boys laying on the ground and dropping from the roof. One thing that I think this game really leans into, that kind of, I don't know if gives it a pass would be the right word, because obviously your mileage may vary. Your mileage may vary. Is that it's really leading into the idea of
ooh, I got cursed.
You did get cursed. Can you stop that, please? the idea that like worlds are converging. So the idea of like there being like a linear timeline where things could have been different, or did things still happen in this world? You know, from a timeline historic sense, like the answer to both of those is yes.
Right. And I mean, yeah, obviously this is a notion from the first in these games, because the whole premise of summoning, which this series we are currently doing relies on quite heavily, is that you're pulling someone in from a different timeline, I suppose. You know, there's a version of the, you know, where there's a version of reality where I'm the Ashen One who does all the stuff we're doing, and there's a version where you are, and the streams are crossing or something.
Right.
That's, oh yeah, I forgot about the Frampt, or the primordial serpents, which is, I did not picture them having little round bodies like that. I don't know why that's upsetting to me.
I mean, we never see their bodies; we just see their necks.
Yeah. It's bad to look at. Yeah, but I think this is also a taste thing, a personal sensibility thing, for sure. But I think personally, I find that multiverse stories can very easily disappear up their own asses. Like, it can just be sort of a license to have things that just happened unhappen. And I feel like these games mostly avoid that, right? Like, if when you face down a character and they die, they're generally pretty much dead, you know. For example, I don't know, maybe that isn't true now that I'm saying it, because the old Dragon Slayer's around when you fought Ornstein or something. I guess what I'm saying is, because you can pretty much get through these games and not think about the multiple timeline thing, my brain struggles a little bit to incorporate that into my understanding. Because, like, if that's true, if this is like Alterna and Orlando or something, I have a million questions that it's not going to answer. And that feeling is generally one I like, but it's like, if you're doing an alternate version, then why have it be Dark Souls 3? Why have it on the same continuity, but then not have it on the same continuity? Am I making a lick of sense here?
Yes.
Like, if it's not on the same continuity, then who cares that it's recognizably... Oop.
Biggest dickus.
Charming. I'm charmed.
Whoa. I missed. Whoa. Is he gonna cheese it?
I don't know.
Or,
yeah, he's Iggying. Ooh, or not, maybe.
Oh, not quite.
Just a feint.
'Twas a ruse! Oh, I couldn't catch him. He's definitely kiting us, but also fighting us.
Right.
He might know we're weak.
Oh, boy.
Whoa, his connection's really bad. Yeah, he's not locking on, so if he looks like he's... Oh, yeah, here we go. Here we go. Let me switch weapons here. I think I might... yes. Okay.
He knows the hitboxes really well.
Yeah. Nice. This knight. It's still looming in the back.
Oh, we-oh.
Yeah, he definitely wants... let's see.
Well, we could divide and maybe conquer. Oh, hello, Lightning Urn.
Yeah. Oh, that's the Claymore, yeah. Lightning Claymore, no less. So he's very much metaing it up.
Oh, boy.
Oh, sorry, I backed off. Trying to think of... You know what? Let's go Mad King. Why not? His dickus is just too biggest.
I know. That's going to be our downfall.
Yep, now here we go.
You want the knight or you want Biggest?
Oh, he backstabbed me.
I'm coming.
Yeah, he's gonna try and take me. Alright. Ah, freaking lightning. So is the knight down, or we still got to worry about that?
No,
'Cause
knight's
there's
up.
other enemies.
And now we have more. Now we have more enemies.
Yeah, I'm gonna backstab him, and he might backstab me. So. Whoa.
Woof.
Oh yeah.
Dang.
Whoa.
Drinking Estus like it's going out of style. Woof.
Biggest tickers. All right. Well. Meanwhile, is he still gonna run? Nice. Careful, there's another guy over there.
Oh my God, fight us, you boring, boring person.
I mean, he is.
He isn't. He's just. He's. God, I hate
He's
him.
kiting us slowly, but I will say he is fighting us here. Oh, here's Cursey boy.
I mean, I get it. It's 2-on-1, so he's using the environment. Like, okay, I understand. It's just, it's so slow and boring. Like,
Yeah, my timing is really bad. I wish I could catch him. Maybe I can switch weapons here real quick.
it's just like there's a reason I always want to be a glass cannon in these games. I have no patience for this attrition stuff.
We danced on the night we were wed.
There was something in the night, the stars were bright and big tickets. Why isn't the camera turning? Oh, there we go.
Do you need a heal, by the way?
I mean, yes, but
All right, try and get over by me. There you go. Oh, he's gonna backstab me. Did you get the heal though?
not as much of it as I wanted, but
Bummer. Bummer, dude.
my buzz is harshed. Oh my God.
You know their heal.
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right, real quick before he backstabs me.
He's nowhere near us on my screen.
Oh, he might have run off.
Yeah, no, he's kiting us again.
Oh, okay. Oh, here he comes.
Oh, Adam points out the implication with Ornstein is that you were fighting an illusion in the first game. I buy that.
Was that the implication?
I mean, it's a read that I think the text supports or at least does not contradict. All right.
Oh, I'm sad.
Well, that was really boring and unpleasant.
Shall we call it?
It's a terrible place to end it.
It is, but there's also a lot between now and the next bonfire.
All right, fair enough. Well, the souls are lost, so yeah, there's no reason to continue right at this moment. So yeah, anybody who tuned in expecting to see medieval Europe and its environs, sorry again. Anybody who wanted to hear about Ursula Le Guin and Octavia Butler while watching us fail a lot at Dark Souls, you are the people that we do this for. You know exactly what you're in for. Yeah. This is like a, shorter one than usual. I had fun. I hope you had fun.
I always have fun just playing. I mean, obviously, part of it is just the discussions we're having. And, yeah, maybe we can figure out including Adam next time. Because that
That'd be
would
fun.
actually be really fun to see in this area.
Absolutely. Okay. If you're a person who's into the podcast, tune in Tuesday for Damon Reese, lead writer of Necro Barista. That's going to be a good one. I don't know when Adam and I are going to actually do Crusader Kings 3 or when the next one of these is, but thanks as always for tuning in. And do remember that when the feast begins, the dark will begin with it.